Top of the top, y'all. This all on the business. Doing an educational presentation about how to start a business, how to build your business credit. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Today's presentation is going to be fairly simple. However, you still might want to take notes. So go ahead and grab yourself a pencil and a paper and come on back and get ready. A good business name is worth more than gold because your first impression is always going to be your most lasting impression. So a good business name is like a sharp hook on your fishing rod. You know what I mean? You want to catch a big fish. So you want a good name. You want a name that's unique. You want a name that's presentable. You want a name that ring bells. And you also want a name that's relative to the field of business that you're in. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want a business name that has nothing to do with your business, right? So keep it simple and keep it smooth, but also make it catchy and make it pop, make it make sense. So what you want to do is you want to go to Google and you want to type in whatever state you're in, and after that, put business search. If you take a look at the presentation, I put an example of a California business search. You go to Google, type in California business search. It's going to pop up with a link to the Secretary of State website. I'm sure to do that with your state too. Just do a new search and type in the name that you came up with. And if the name does not pop up, then that means it's not in use and it's free for you to use. So now you need to figure out what kind of structure do you want. You know, before a construction company could go start work and build up a building, they have to determine how big the building is going to be. They have to determine what kind of building it's going to be, whether it's going to be a skyscraper, an apartment unit, or just a parking garage. And they also have to figure out and determine what the material they're going to use and the cost of material. It's the same thing when you start your business. You need to figure out what your business structure is going to be so that your business can be strong in the future. You already got the name. The name is like a book with a good cover. And now it's time to fill in your pages with the blueprint. First business structure, SCorporation. S-Corp for short stands for Stock Corporation. Stock Corporation is more suitable for small businesses who still would like to sell private ownership by stock. Now, an S-Corporation is perfect for the shareholders because it protects all of their assets. An S-Corporation does not pay taxes. Instead, all the profit and money and earnings are funneled down to the employees, the members, and the shareholders so that they could pay the S-Corp tax on their personal taxes. So that way, it's only one taxation. And before you get to that point, there's a whole lot of tax breaks on your gains and your losses. CCorporation is a standard corporation for big businesses like Coca-Cola, Frito-Lay's. They're publicly traded on the stock market. So there's no restrictions on who could be an owner, or there's less restrictions, right? Like you could go to the stock market, and if you got enough money, you could buy Coca-Cola, every last share. That's a lot of money though. A C-Corporation is a separate legal entity on taxes, which means you have to pay tax twice. So when you hear about companies like Coca-Cola or like how number 44 only pay like $750 in taxes, exactly. And McDonald's and Amazon, they pay hundreds of dollars in taxes, but they make billions of dollars. You have to understand that they are using tax breaks. There's so many tax breaks, employee tax breaks, insurance tax breaks, interest tax breaks, that when it comes down to it, they owe a small fraction of what they earned. Limited liability companies, or LLCs for short, are companies that offer limited liability for members and managers in the case of mistakes or accidents caused by said member or employee that results in litigation. You know, you're protected from lawsuits that may arise based on accidents happening at work. LLCs are similar to S-Corps, being that they pass through the income down to the employees who are taxed at personal level. LLCs are good for protecting your personal assets, which include your money, prevent your money from being taken. For an example, Lawyers. A lot of lawyers who start companies start LLCs so that their money can't necessarily be taken based on them being sued by a client or some outside power. Plumbers are LLCs a lot of the time because you don't want to be held 100% liable for busting somebody's pipe that you was trying to fix. And I'm giving you these examples because you need to be clear on the difference between an LLC and an S-Corp. The main difference between an LLC and an S-Corp is that an LLC has no stocks. You cannot privately or publicly buy and sell your company using stocks. Also, there's an annual fee to operate LLCs in certain states. California is one of them. 501c3 nonprofit organizations, tax exempt from the feds. However, a 501c3 nonprofit organization means that you're in bed with the feds. That means you can't make profit and you have to accept donation. So be clear. A nonprofit organization is not a for-profit tax exempt business. It's two different things. 501c3 nonprofit organizations have tax deductible contributions, which means anything they give out is tax deductible. They're exempt from unemployment tax. They're exempt on financing. 501c3 nonprofit organizations are typically churches, schools, hospitals, public safety companies, medical marijuana, group homes, etc., etc. Now, just don't take what I'm telling you and run with it. I'm not a lawyer and I don't give legal advice. I'm not telling you what type of business structure you should have. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm simply giving you information, and I expect you to write it down and go do research for yourself so you can make the best educated decision. And if you need legal help, please call a business lawyer. Anybody that wants to start a 501c3 nonprofit organization, I recommend that you go hire a lawyer. Don't try to do everything yourself. Sometimes it's good to hire people. I mean, there's two ways to establish relationships. That's either by hiring people or by being hired. Be the employer, not the employee. So your next step is to get an EIN, Employee Identification Number. It's free on irs.gov. If you have trouble finding the link, just go to Google and search free EIN, irs.gov. It's going to pop up with the link. You need to get on there and start you one, because an EIN is basically your business's social security number. It's the same thing. It's what separates your personal credit from your business credit. You need an EIN to open a business bank account, to build business credit, pay employees, register taxes, to do business as a company. You need to start an EIN. And make sure when you go apply for your EIN that you print out your confirmation. Again, print your EIN confirmation and the SS4 PDF form. Once you confirm your EIN, it's going to be a red link with a PDF download. You need to download that and keep it for your records. Step 4, a business address and a business phone number. The two things that I recommend. These are not necessities, but I put them as a step because a new business address and phone number are like a fresh start in life. When you have a business address that's not residential, creditors know that. They also can see if your phone number is a personal phone number or a business phone number. So when it comes to applying for credit and building credit, you don't want to establish your credit profile, your business credit profile, with personal information. See, a business is like a baby. And you want to have your baby, when you deliver your baby, you want it to be delivered at a nice, clean hospital. You don't want to deliver your baby at the county, but if you have to, you got to do what you got to do. It's like if you can afford it, you're going to go to Cedars-Sinai, or you're going to go to Kaiser, you're going to get some insurance, right? Because you want that good care. It's the same thing with the business address. When you birth your business, it's a baby. And you don't want to deliver this baby at the county or at the house. You want to deliver this baby at a nice business address, at the doctor, right? You want to deliver this business with the 1-800 phone number. This is how you want to deliver this business when it's a baby. So by the time it becomes a full-grown adult business, it'll be worth more. Now, once you get your EIN and you got your business address, your phone number, and you ready, you got to get you a registered agent in your state. It's real easy. They like $39, $50 for a year. And all these people are going to do is correspond your information for you. Deadlines, alerts from the state, from the Fed, any type of issue or deadline that you have to meet, they're going to notify you by mail. Some states don't even require you to have that. In fact, you could be your own registered agent a lot of the times. The thing is, you got to look this stuff up. I'm giving you the breadcrumbs. This is real breadcrumbs, and if you follow these breadcrumbs, it's going to lead you straight to the damn gingerbread house, man. You got to register your business with the state once you get a registered agent. You get the agent, you get with the state. It's a low-cost fee, like $170. It varies from state to state. So once you rise above that 6 and you get your articles of organization or incorporation back, you got to file your statement information just to let the state know, hey, I'm in business, I'm here to stay. I'm here for a year, right? It's an initial report. You're basically telling them who your directors are, who are the members, what's your address. And after you do that, you get that confirmation, you might as well go ahead and start researching what bank you want to get with. They got Chase, you got Wells Fargo, you got all kind of credit unions. It's up to you. You know, I personally recommend Wells Fargo. They offer a secure business credit card, and you could put as much money as you want on there. And they also have a business bank account that allows you to have a minimal balance of $500 a month without paying a fee. Chase is $1,500 a month. Other places are cheaper. But like I said, you got to pick and choose what bank you want to go to. I recommend Wells Fargo because once you start that business account, you can apply for your secure business card the same day and get approved the next, or at least within a week. Once you got your business bank account, the ball is super rolling now. Now it's time to start building up that business credit. And you got to get familiar with this world because this is a whole different world you in now. It's a whole different ball game. You're dealing with Dun & Bradstreet. You're dealing with Paydex. You're dealing with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion still. But you're dealing with business credit now. You're dealing with net terms, net 10, net 15, net 30, net 55. If you're not familiar with those terms, you're about to be. You're dealing with revolving credit, store cards, and business credit cards like we just discussed on the previous slide dealing with Wells Fargo. Dun & Bradstreet, D&B for short, is a company that gathers your business information and calls it trade experiences. So that they gather all your trade experience information and they create what you call a Paydex score. Paydex score is a trademark which is patented by Dun & Bradstreet. So Dun & Bradstreet is technically the top dogs of business credit, just like Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion are the top dogs of personal credit. However, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion keep business credit scores as well. They just rate them differently. The Paydex score goes up to 100. FICO, I think it goes up to 800 to 1,000 or something like that. You know, so business credit doesn't take as long for you to max out. You know, I think Experian is more significant than Equifax and TransUnion in the business world and also in the personal world. But it's important to keep all your business credit scores A1 and not to fall off. The same thing with personal credit. You don't want to ruin your business credit. There's a company out there called Nav, and they have a cell phone app, and you could download Nav, and they basically keep basic scores. The free version keeps real basic scores of your business credit, and it shows you by grade and color. So if you're in the green, then you're good. If you're in the red, then you're bad. But if you pay for Nav, then they'll give you access to a more detailed business report. So I like that company. And we'll discuss them more in a second. Net 30. Well, net 30 means you got to pay me in 30 days. You know, the term net, that means that you have to pay in full The number that follows the net is the days, the amount of days you have to pay me. And anything over that day is late. You want to get a net 30 account with a company that reports to Dun & Bradstreet. You don't want to just be getting net 30s everywhere you go. There's companies that offer net 30 and don't report to Dun & Bradstreet. Some people don't even report the credit payments that you give them. So you have to be diligent. Call in and make sure that this company is reporting your credit experience, your trade experience to Dun & Bradstreet, because that payback score is the most significant for your business. There's more than a handful of companies that offer net terms. You got Uline, Quill, Granger, UPS, Amazon, Arco. And it's real simple. I put them in that order for a reason. This is the simplest way to go in that order of getting approved for those accounts with my experience. Uline, Quill, and Granger are pretty much instantaneous approvals. UPS as well. But you want to establish the credit with those 4 companies before you apply for a company like Amazon or Arco. You don't want to apply for Amazon first or Arco first. No, I don't recommend that. If that's what you want to do and you want to try something new, then feel free. I recommend that you adopt my order of procedure to build your business credit within 6 to 12 months. So the first thing you want to do is sign up for Uline. And once you get approved, you want to place an order for a minimum of $50. Now keep in mind that some companies have a minimal purchase price in order for them to report your trade experience to Dun & Bradstreet. So make sure you call into the company and find out the minimal purchase price. So now you can order $50 worth of supplies from Uline using your corporate credit. And then you want to pay that within 14 days of placing your order so that your trade experience will be reported on next month's billing cycle. If you repeat those steps for the next 5 months, then you're going to have at least 5 trade lines. I recommend 1 trade line per month as a rule of thumb. This is a 6 to 12 month journey. This is not a one-day process. We got to slowly build up the credit so that we could get approved for the revolving credit cards that we want to apply for. Revolving credit is stronger than net terms. You have funds you could use to buy supplies. You have funds you could use to pay for gas, pay for goods, so you could buy and sell, right? These are revolving cards, store cards, major bank cards, secure credit cards. These are the things that we really want to have. There's a bunch of companies that offer the revolving credit, pretty much everybody. But we're talking about business credit. So first on the list, I got Wells Fargo. After you get those net term accounts under your belt and you got a good 5 to 6 net accounts, I recommend Wells Fargo first though. When you first start your business bank account, you apply for that secure card. So the first thing you have on your business credit is a credit card, not a net account. The net accounts are like icing on the cake because the cake is the business itself. Then you get the net account, you put the icing on, and that revolving credit, that non-secure credit, that's the cherry on top. But what I really want you to understand first is that Wells Fargo secure business credit line is the perfect starting point. When I first started doing business, I didn't know, hey, I could go to Wells Fargo and get a secure business card. I started off by getting my net term accounts, which still worked out lovely for me. I'm still doing real good off the way I did my process, but I realized that there was a better way, a more improved way. And even though I was doing my best, I realized that I had to get better and make improvements. So I'm telling you, don't do the same thing I did, do it better. Go and get that Wells Fargo account. Start it with $500 and then get you a $200 secure card and put $500 in your bank account. You got to have some type of money to start a business, but you're not going to be spending that money. You're just putting it in the bank. When you first start your business bank account, you apply for that secure card. So the first thing you have on your business credit is a credit card, not a net account. The net accounts are like icing on the cake because the cake is the business itself. Then you get the net account, you put the icing on, and that revolving credit, that non-secure credit, That's the cherry on top. But what I really want you to understand first is that Wells Fargo secure business credit line is the perfect starting point. When I first started doing business, I didn't know, hey, I could go to Wells Fargo and get a secure business card. I started off by getting my net term accounts, which still worked out lovely for me. I'm still doing real good off the way I did my process, but I realized that there was a better way, a more improved way. And even though I was doing my best, I realized that I had to get better and make improvements. So I'm telling you, don't do the same thing I did, do it better. Go and get that Wells Fargo account. Start it with $500 and then get you a $200 secure card and put $500 in your bank account. You got to have some type of money to start a business, but you're not going to be spending that money. You're just putting it in the bank. Dell, Staples, Costco, Capital One, Chase, Walmart. I mean, the list goes on and on. So many companies that offer business credit. And like I said, just like the last slide, slow roll it. Apply for one company per month. And by the time you look up in 1 year, in 12 months, you'll have 12 credit lines. If you do it like I'm telling you, at least 12 credit lines, which means you'll be in a position to ask for what you want from the bank instead of having to accept what they give you. So take your time and go through those slides and carefully read the details about how to sign up for these companies. I tried to make it as easy as possible for you, but at the same time, you got to do some work. If I give it all to you, you're not going to want to get it for yourself. You got to go to these websites and you got to start accounts. Once you get approved for the membership, you got to request the credit. And then once you request it and get approved, you have to follow through. You got to pay your bills. UPS is a tricky one because when I first signed up for UPS, I was late on my first bill. And I'm going to tell you why I was late. Because it's a net 10 account and I didn't know. I thought it was net 30. And when I looked up, I was 20 days late. But it's fine. I paid the bill and I got the bad transaction off my credit history. But the thing is, that's a simple mistake that you can avoid. It's a net 10 account. So when you sign up for UPS and you make a shipment, make sure you make a shipment for $50. And once you make that shipment, it's going to make you pay within 10 days. The Net 55 on Amazon is my favorite. It pulled me through. It kept me out the slump. Amazon. You know, just being able to buy and sell things using my Amazon credit. You know, I was getting Amazon gift cards and buying t-shirts with them. And then also buying vinyl and all kind of stuff and ink with them and making t-shirts and selling t-shirts using my Amazon credit. They approved me for $3,000. I used so much Amazon credit that I looked up and they increased my limit to $5,000 without me even asking. Amazon kept me afloat. I recommend the Amazon corporate credit line, Net 55 or the revolving. Either way it goes. One of my guys, he has a pilot car company where he follows the oversized loads, 18-wheeler loads, oversized, the ones that take up 2 lanes. You see the cars in front and behind. So my guy, he owns a company and he has a fleet account with Arco. I have an Arco account too, but I told my mans about it because I know he drives state to state to state, and he got himself an Arco card, and he's building his business credit with Arco. I could give it to you, but you got to use it, and if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So the rule of thumb is do not rush this process. This is a 6 to 12 month process, period. And if you try to rush it, you might mess it up. You got to slow roll it because this is business credit, and business credit is separate from personal credit. So you want to build it separately. You don't always want to be putting your name on this credit application and that credit application just to get yourself approved. You want to be able to get approved with your business information by itself, because you're going to reach a certain point where you can't get approved without your personal information. The Net 55 on Amazon is my favorite. It pulled me through. It kept me out the slump. Amazon. You know, just being able to buy and sell things using my Amazon credit. I was getting Amazon gift cards and buying t-shirts with them. And then also buying vinyl and all kind of stuff and ink with them and making t-shirts and selling t-shirts using my Amazon credit. They approved me for $3,000. I used so much Amazon credit that I looked up and they increased my limit to $5,000 without me even asking. Amazon kept me afloat. I recommend the Amazon corporate credit line, Net 55 or the revolving. Either way it goes. One of my guys, he has a pilot car company where he follows the oversized loads, 18-wheeler loads, oversized, the ones that take up 2 lanes. You see the cars in front and behind. So my guy, he owns a company and he has a fleet account with Arco. I have an Arco account too, but I told my mans about it because I know he drives state to state to state, and he got himself an Arco card, and he's building his business credit with Arco. I could give it to you, but you got to use it, and if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. One of my guys, he has a pilot car company where he follows the oversized loads, 18-wheeler loads, oversized, the ones that take up 2 lanes. You see the cars in front and behind. So my guy, he owns a company and he has a fleet account with Arco. I have an Arco account too, but I told my mans about it because I know he drives state to state to state, and he got himself an Arco card, and he's building his business credit with Arco. I could give it to you, but you got to use it, and if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So the rule of thumb is do not rush this process. This is a 6 to 12 month process, period. And if you try to rush it, you might mess it up. You got to slow roll it because this is business credit, and business credit is separate from personal credit. So you want to build it separately. You don't always want to be putting your name on this credit application and that credit application just to get yourself approved. You want to be able to get approved with your business information by itself, because you're going to reach a certain point where you can't get approved without your personal information. You're going to reach a certain point where the only way to get approved is to provide your social security number as a personal guarantor in case your business messes up the money. Don't mess up the church's money. It's going to ding your credit too. But the thing is, by the time you get to the point where you need your personal credit as a guarantor, you should have good credit. I worked on my personal credit. I disputed things. I got things erased. I started accounts with different companies, the Jeweler Club, Ox Publishing, and just building your personal credit, getting secure credit cards, and just making sure I pay my bills, taking care of my school loans, and just doing what I have to do in order to make my personal credit score increase. And now when I go apply, I get approved. And I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm not even applying for any credit cards right now. I don't feel like my personal guarantor is good enough to get the approvals that I want and the limits that I'm going to ask for. I don't want the little child money. I want the big man money. Credit card companies and store cards, they are going to require that the ownership of the company provide personal guarantor. And here's where NAV comes into play. NAV is also a company that's going to help you build business credit. If you pay NAV their monthly fee, I forget how much it is, but you pay their monthly membership fee, and they're going to give you a detailed report about your business credit and also a little bit about your personal credit. And they offer a business credit builder where the payment that you make towards NAV is reported to Dun & Bradstreet and reported to Experian and the business credit bureaus. So I recommend downloading NAV. I would use it for 3 months and then just get rid of it. It's going to be a trade line on your business credit report. And they're also going to show you your business credit grades. And I would get this later down the line, because if you get it early, all it's going to show you is a bunch of bad grades. But if you get it later, after you get your 10 trade lines, or maybe after you get 6, 7, or 8 of them, and you download NAV, then you could get to see the A or the B, or even a C, but it's not going to be a D or a F. But once you purchase it, it'll show you the number score, 80, 90, 70, 60. It's 0 to 100. when it comes to a paydex score.